A doctor I didn't know, didn't even look up. And he said, you have 24 cancerous tumors, and they're growing, and they're multiplying. My whole world got a little gray. I reached out for something to steady myself on, and there was nothing there. I began to lose my bearings. It took me several moments to get back in balance and realize I had nothing to be afraid of. I was only losing my mind. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, you too may be losing your mind. It got just a little bit harder when he said, I need to operate tomorrow night. I was out of work. Within the last month, I had lost a business it took 10 years to build to a devious partner. He took with him my wife and my 2 daughters. I was 1 week on a job. I didn't have any medical insurance. I had very few assets and no savings at all. And it's very, very hard at a moment like that to realize that you're stepping off into the very best moments of your life. Fortunately, I have a beautiful mind. I know I helped design it. Simply put, I am a positive paranoid. Most paranoid people believe the whole world is out to get them. I, in contrast, believe that the entire world is out to help me. Most of you probably fall somewhere between those 2 extremes. But it works for me. It makes me remember that anything is possible at the depth of what seems to be only a depressing situation if I can remember that I will only see certain things if I rely on my 5 senses. If I can remember that world out there is far greater in its potential, and so am I open up the realm of what's possible. Every day we are taught by our society that things are really bad in this world. In the newspaper, on the radio, we see it on television. It's a cacophony of chaos and crisis that's presented to us. And yet, it's simply not true. And I can prove it to you, I believe. Have you ever seen a headline that said, a dog bit a man today? Of course not. Dogs bite people all the time. But let one guy bite a single dog and it's on Channel 6. That's because news, by its very nature, is odd. It's the extraordinary. It's the rare. So long as the news is bad, it's logical to assume that things are going along really well. That's how a positive paranoid starts his day. It's hard, however, to keep your mind in that sort of structure and that innate, intrinsic belief that no matter what seems, things are better. They're better and better than you could ever imagine them to be. And so when you reach a point where you can't imagine that things are about to get better, you have to know it. You have to know beyond reason that the best opportunity is right in front of you. I was very frightened at that moment. I'd been in a truck accident. 1 week on the job. I totaled the truck. I wasn't badly hurt, but it was going to take 6 weeks to replace the truck. So I was out of work. Because I was out of work, I was eligible for my veterans benefit hospitalization. They cured the cancer. And in the process of doing that, I reestablished that belief that life is great. I've retained a very nice relationship with my children. I found that I was now able, in fact, to meet the woman I needed to be with for the rest of my life. Someone supportive and honest, that trustworthy, and most of all, that believed in me. That believed that I could be anything I chose to be. She's right there, Peg Sikora. An amazing woman. Oh, and by the way, that company that I so regretted losing, I'm pretty sure that the environmental factors in that company were the cause of my cancer. I couldn't have imagined how good life was about to get. Oh, and the job. I don't drive a tow truck anymore. I work for a company called the History Rescue Team. The work I do is to sit and listen to people tell me about the important moments of their lives. And I gotta tell you, I've heard stories of renewal that simply make my story pale in comparison. I've seen people at 86 years old whose life totally changed and became excited enough to have anyone in this room envy them. I encourage you, no matter how much you see that things are awful, to know that that's simply not true. Life is good, it's getting better, and every one of you has potential that you can't imagine. Become infected with positive paranoia. It has served me well, and it can serve you too. You can bet your life on it.